Joe here for GoonerTube. Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 3 at the Emirates tonight, and I'm here with Andy. Andy, I'm trying to work that one out. What's your thoughts?
Oh, Joe, it's unbelievable, isn't it? We've just come off of a great victory against Man United. Again, granted by an average Man United team. We played absolutely shocking. We played like a team that's in the bottom three of the league. Honestly, Joe, we should be sky high the confidence. We've come out of that with no passion. There's been no ideas. There's been no energy. I've no idea what happens in a week on the training ground.
No,
They just seem to be just flat of any ideas or any passion.
Yeah, I mean, who for you stood out in that sense? Like, who were the main people that stood out in a sense that you were just so disappointed with the way they played?
I'll tell you the reaction that peed me off more than anyone else was Aubameyang at the end. He looked like he was cheesed off as hell, wanting to desperately get off the pitch, which is exactly what you want from a player, right? But his performance on the pitch, he's the captain. But his performance on the pitch, Joe, was far from what he showed when he went off the pitch. He looked pissed off and angry when he went off. Great, why didn't you play like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because there was nothing of that up front, that's for sure.
I mean, if Lacazette had scored that goal with his head, which I think you or I could have probably scored. What?
Yeah.
What happened then? What way do we play? Do we get more on the front foot? Confidence?
I think confidence. It looks as though we've lost four on the trot. I mean, we went on the pitch and we played like. Firstly, we played like an away team. Do you remember when we spoke last year? I said to you, we can't afford to back off or let them come onto us. We've got to play like the home side, go at them like we did against Man United, press them, push them. We did none of that. It was almost as if we've come off 4 defeats on the trot. It felt as if that was the body language for the players. And up front, there's no. We've talked about creativity. We've talked about it for weeks, haven't we? There's no creativity. Look at Aston Villa. The way they open up our back four, back five, it was like hot knife through butter. And we can't do that at the other end when we've supposedly got better players to do exactly that.
Well, you say better players, but what sort of better players have we got? Because it seemed that with the likes of Grealish and the like, Barkley, they seem much more penetrative, much more attack-minded from the midfield. Did we have those sort of players in the midfield? Are we able to play that way, or is it just that they did a job on us?
Well, it definitely did a job on us, Joe. But I think in terms of the players you just mentioned, they're just quick. They're quicker feet, quicker mind, bit of passion, bit of bite about them. You look at our midfield and our front 2 or 3, right? Every one of them looks flat, right? So when they get the ball, they're void of ideas. There never seems to be any movement. It's that, and I'm back to my old Lacazette moaning days, Joe. There's no movement. He's playing as a central striker. There's not any kind of looking at trying to get behind. There's no looking at trying to get find a little bit of space, coming off the defenders a little bit to pick up some space. There's nothing. He just sits on the back of a defender up his backside, and there's no movement. There's no trying to get away from the defender. Okay, you could argue the toss that the defender's playing well, and he's sussed out Lacazette. But like I say, it's not easy to suss out. It's not hard to suss out.
Would Ian Wright have allowed a player to be like that with him? He wouldn't have.
Can you imagine, Joe? Ian Wright would have ripped him apart.
Yep.
He would have been all over the place. He would have gone left, he would have gone right, he would have gone over the top, he would have come deep to pick up the ball. He would have done all sorts to try and figure out how to get around that defender. Like I said, it's so one-dimensional. He gets the ball, he's got his back to goal. He doesn't know how to turn. The only way he can get around the player is by going down on the floor like a sack of crap.
Yeah, you can say shit if you want, because they were shit.
I was tempted. I was bloody tempted.
They were collectively, they were absolutely shit. But Villa did do a job. Villa came and listen. I've said this before. They are no mugs, and they proved that tonight. They've got some really good players, and they're obviously going to do quite well in this league if they carry on doing what they're doing. They're almost like another Leicester, aren't they? They're going to be very hard to beat. But again, when I spoke to Tim, the Villa supporter, he said that sometimes you don't know what Villa team's going to turn up, but they bloody turned up tonight, didn't they?
They really did. They really did. And my worry is, Joe, a little bit with the body language and how we played today. we talk about Project Arteta, and I'm for one, I'm not giving up on Arteta. I've seen some people on social media, instant reaction, get Arteta out. We've got to give the guy a couple of years, right? We like you and I are both, I think, both agree. You've got to give the guy some chances. My issue is they talk about the players buying into Project Arteta and buying into his ideas and his methodologies and his blah blah blah, which is great. But if we keep getting results like that, my worry is that some of the senior players will lose confidence. And that will just spread through the team, and we'll go back to square one again.
Yeah. I mean, the way things are, I haven't looked at the table since the match finished, but I think we're down there in about 9th or something like that. Not quite sure. I could double check and make absolutely sure. But it seems to me that I'm just checking now. Actually, we're 11th now. We're 11th now.
Wow.
Villa have obviously they've moved up to 6th because obviously we were both on 12. But that's a bit of a worry, isn't it? I mean, we're languishing kind of mid-table now. We're actually below. We're in the bottom half of the table, and I know we've only played 8 games, but we're in the bottom half of the bloody table.
Yeah. If we only got a result against Man United, let's say we draw against Man United, we're 2 points down. Where would that put us, Joe? Roughly,
that would put us
at the table now.
That would have actually put us. Well, Man United would be on 11. We would have been on 10. So we would have been below Man United, and we'd have been around sort of 14th, 15th with the likes of Leeds and Brighton and Fulham.
That's shocking, isn't it? Shocking.
No, actually, Leeds. Sorry, not Brighton. They're only on 6 points. Yeah, so Leeds and Newcastle around that sort of area.
Joe, do you remember when we spoke last again? We said about we joked right at the end. I don't know if you remember. We joked right at the end and said about this is Arsenal, right? We don't know what's going to happen next game. Or worse,
when I said, there's a world of crap coming around the corner. One of those ones. Yeah, we mentioned that, didn't we?
And that's exactly what's happened. Again, I know we should be used to it, but we shouldn't have to put up with it.
No.
And I'm not blaming Arteta. I generally think he's been let down by the players today.
Yes.
I really do. There's not one player on that pitch. Man United, I said, even Lacazette, every man played for that team. On that El Neni, today, it was like we got a version 1.0 again, not 2.0. We got 2 games ago.
Exactly. Okay, so one final thing to ask you. I mean, you were saying about we have got, after the international break, I think we've got a game pretty much every 3 days.
Yeah.
With the sort of European games. If you could wave a magic wand and get us out of that European competition, I know it's wrong to say this, but what would you do?
What? Give up the European game?
Yep. Or would you rather still see us in Europe and have games like this?
You know what, Joe? The way I'm feeling, we should play it, because I think if any games that give us opportunity to get the confidence up, I'd rather do it in the Europa League than I would do in the league, quite frankly. If we're going to try things and give players a chance, Willock, for example, even Saka, I haven't lost faith with Saka. I just want to make that clear. But Saka isn't setting the world alight. I mean, all the hype that's been given around Saka is almost like he's top 4 players at Arsenal. He ain't.
Yeah.
He's work in progress.
Yeah.
So for me, those Willocks and Nelsons and those players, Europe gives us an opportunity to play those players. But when they play well, like Willock did, give them a chance.
Yeah.
Because there's not one player in that team today deserves to start an 11 position again next game.
Yeah. Well, we got this break coming up, and I think they need it, because I think there's obviously a bit of work to be done on that training pitch. They need to go back to square one, because it wasn't just like we were beaten by a better side tonight. We were absolutely crap, and in all departments we look so lackluster. And I don't know.
I agree.
People can't blame the build up of games. We've got a big enough squad, and they're all real top racehorses. They are top professionals. They should.
Joe, there's Arteta, right? He's no way on earth he's set them up into that game today poorly. In my opinion, he wouldn't have set those guys up on that pitch. That's, in a week, they've lost so much confidence on the training ground. Arteta can't be to blame for that, for me. So the players gone out on that pitch with the wrong attitude from the start and followed it all the way through that game. And with respect to Arteta, I know he's got to get it right. Of course, he's the manager. But those players have let him down. I've said it once, but they've let him down.
Yeah. Seems to me that they seemed very confident after last week. Maybe went into this game a little bit over too confident and got absolutely smashed. But thanks for joining me anyway, And. on a very
Pleasure.
disappointing night.
Yeah, not half.